Hello, welcome back to the Quiet Fight. We are at the Mental Health Classic. My name is Dylan. Today is a special day because we talked to this wonderful gentleman yesterday who was very passionate about mental health, and he came back to come talk to us. So, would you like to introduce yourself and maybe just say what you want to say about why mental health matters to you?
Yeah, sure. My name's Evan. Um, Grew up rural, small town, right? Currently married, have three young boys, and um, mental health is important to me because I think I've gone through my fair share of shit, and um, kind of was done with it.
Yep.
Wanted to change my life around for my kids, for my family, for my wife, because I put her through a lot over the years, and just seeing the benefits of it through one of my recoveries, I guess, right? I quit drinking a little over 3.5 years ago.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been huge, and it wasn't just about quitting drinking. Like I joined the program, like I joined AA, just because I wanted to change, and I knew I couldn't do it on my own.
Yep.
Tried it in the past, thinking, um, you know, I could do this. I'd quit for a few months, or maybe not even, maybe a couple months. Like, oh, I'm good. I can start drinking again. No, back to the old habits because you need that support group. You need that change. It's living that quiet fight by yourself.
Yep.
You can't do everything on your own, even though you think you can. As a man, it's like, oh, I got to be tough. I can handle this. I can make these changes. I know who I am.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, as soon as I joined AA, I realized a lot of things about myself I never knew before, and maybe that I just turned a blind eye to, that I painted in a different color and changed my reality on what it truly was, and didn't want to accept it. And like I say, I joined the program, and I learned a lot of things about um, forgiveness. Was a huge thing about forgiving others, forgiving yourselves, making amends. Right?
That's the toughest one, right?
It was a big one. Um, I think, I realized when I quit drinking, I don't think it hurt a ton of people. There's tons of different people, alcoholics, and the way people drink and how it affects them. For me, it was binge drinking. When I drank, I would drink to blackout.
Yep.
I don't have a lot of huge regrets from drinking besides making an ass of myself or being at weddings at 7 p.m. and my wife taking me home by 10 because I can't stand up. There's a lot of those, like almost every wedding or every Rider game we went to or every sporting function. When there was a bar, I could drink, and then as soon as it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, before,
You sound just like me.
yeah, yeah, it was a lot. Like I could not drink, and then when I drank, boom. Home it wasn't too bad. I'd have the social ones at home, but drank COVID. We went through a lot of things. We were living down in Mydale, like near Estevano down there, my wife and I, for 8 years.
Yep.
Supposed to be 6 months. I said, oh, 6 months, we'll come back home. It was 8 years, and then we finally wrapped. Kind of was our third kid. And she's like, I want to get home. So we came home, lost a lot of money in our house, stressed over that. Uh, Ended up living with my parents for almost the better part of 2 years because we were trying to sell our house, but it wouldn't sell. So we got a new one. And my dad and I had a not great relationship. Wasn't terrible, but we butted heads a lot because we were so similar.
Yep.
We were both stubborn. We were both, I'm right, you're wrong, and we conflicted. And that was the whole way growing up. And you know, that was a big stressor for me. And we ended up, at one point living in the camper in the drive. I couldn't want to be in the house, and we all said and done, you know, that's when I started drinking more too at home. So I was sitting in the camper and just drink, right? And then we finally got our own house in Vibank where we live now. And it was my wife's hometown, kind of where I went to high school. It felt like we were at home for once, and we were there for like a month. We were at a wedding, quit drinking. That after that wedding, because I got so hammered, I said, I want to start a new life here. I want to change it. I want to be a better person, be a better dad, be a better husband. And knew I couldn't quit cold turkey, so I reached out to a support group, and I think that's what lots of people need to do.
Yep.
Can't do it on your own, right? You need, podcasts like this and people like you guys and support groups, whoever that may be. Whether it's not easy to get it with family. I think it's easy to find like-minded people to reach
Yep.
out to and get that support. You feel that connection and that you aren't alone in it, right? Other people you maybe like you don't understand, but when you hear people's stories that you can relate to, that you can just build off of and understand, and you take so much from it. Right? So, mental health to me is huge because I changed so much over the past 3 years since I quit drinking. I just learned to be more grateful. I learned what dry drunk was, right? When I
Yeah.
quit drinking in the past, and I'm like, oh, what's dry drunk? And they were like, oh, you cannot be drinking, but you're gonna have the same side effects. I'm like, what do you mean? Like the anger, the resentment, being an asshole at times. It's like, oh, okay. And you know, do I have a lot of things I still want to change? 100%. Like, I was thinking last night, I was just doing your podcasts. I was like, if I was the author of my life right now, which everybody is, but I just picture myself writing my story as it's unfolding, how much I would want to change still. And realizing if I want that change, why is it so hard? Right? Just because you got to take it in steps. It's a journey. Like yesterday, a guy was saying in a mental health session here that he's on his 9th year of his journey, and it kind of hit me. And I'm like, like I always thought, like there's no real end, or it's not a race. It's a journey.
Yep.
It's
Day by day.
day by day, exactly.
Yep.
And yeah, so and I'm so grateful I started quitting drinking and realizing things and all the different shit I did over the years. And my wife's been a rock through everything. We've been together since we were 18, so 21 years. And she's always been right over the
Yeah.
years. I'm like,
Yeah.
you're wrong. I'd argue and argue and argue, and I wish I would have listened to her. Listen to people who say things. Wish I would have listened to my mom saying, watch out, you're going to become an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Say when I was 13, I started drinking.
Me too.
And well, not really started, but it was like my first time drinking
It's
heavy.
like the culture, right? Like especially in like rural Saskatchewan.
Bush parties.
It's like bush parties, bonfire parties, all that kind of stuff. It's like, well, let's get after it.
Yeah.
Right. And usually at that age too, like you're kind of excited, a little bit of peer pressure, and you usually end up getting bombed your first time getting drunk, right? And that just kind of starts the cycle a little bit, and then you get those pressures that add on throughout your life, and all of a sudden you're an alcoholic, or you have substance abuse, or you're coping in a different way, right? Like,
yeah, like that. The first time I drank, I should have my stomach pumped. I was puking for probably 8-10 hours at home. Like just nothing coming out the bottle. It was bad. And you think that would make a guy learn? Oh, it turned me off for a little bit, but how many times in the past I've been sick from drinking. And my dad was a smoker. I started smoking when I was 14, chewing whatever in the rural settings, right? Parties and hockey teams and whatever
100%.
else. And even to this day, struggle to quit smoking small cigars. I try for a while, and then it's just I don't know why, but it was like drinking. You found an excuse, whether it was like a celebration. Hey, good time. Let's party. Let's celebrate. Let's drink. We're a bad time. I had a shitty day. I need a drink. It's kind of the same thing with my smoking. I'm starting to realize it's that addictive personality, right? It's something you have to overcome mentally and figure out what are you compensating for, or what are you trying to unconsciously treat or resolve.
Yeah. Did you find with dealing with some of your coping mechanisms and getting healthier because of the addictive personality? Did you find yourself like kind of going all in certain things after you stopped drinking or stopped doing something else, just because of the way we're kind of wired?
Yep. And actually, I was always open with my group. I said, I'm hoping I stick this out. With my personality, I dive into things full bore, 100%, 10%, and I get bored of it and I fizzle out.
Yeah.
Whether it's a hobby, whether it's, I used to do woodworking. I have kids now, so I can't do that. But anyway, like lots of different things. But, I stuck it out. Still go to meetings once in a while. But yeah, other things I dove into was coaching, right? So passionate about that. I found over the years I coach both 2 or 3 of my kids a year for hockey as much as I can. Baseball, I coach a couple teams simultaneously. Yeah, it's kind of been my passion for sure. It's at the rink or the baseball field for us, and it's been really good. It kind of keeps my mind off things. It helps me. Children are innocent. It kind of makes me realize, things about childhood. It's like just trying to teach them how to be a better person reminds me to do that too, right?
Yep.
When I coach, it's, try to teach them the things that I've learned through recovery, like whether it's, I always have 3 golden rules. It's about respect yourself, respect others, respect coaches, refs, trying your hardest and having fun. Those are my 3 rules for every team I coach. And um, but even things, try to pump up, lift their spirits when they're down, teach them it's okay to. I don't know how many kids I told to cry. It's okay to cry. Like, if they're pitching have a bad game, I go on the mound, I'll go down on a knee with them, and I'll have tear. I'll take my glasses off. Look, you're making me cry.
Yep.
Right? It's okay to cry, and I think that's a huge thing that uh, growing up, it was rub dirt in it. You're fine. Get man up, back up. Um, so I'm trying to help break that stigma with the kids, kind of things like you guys are doing, right? Like,
Yep.
don't have a quiet fight. Don't be okay to feel your emotions, because I never felt my emotions
100%.
till I quit drinking, and that was the start of things. Like, this spring, I got diagnosed with ADHD, and I'm on meds for that now. World of a difference there with the focus and the attention. I'd be in and out of conversations where you could tell me one thing, I would be in thinking about something totally different and forget what you even mentioned, or reading a book. I could be reading and flipping pages and not know what the hell I read, right?
Okay, first of all, I just want to say me and him might be related because everything you've said, I can relate to.
Yeah.
There's not one thing.
Yeah.
So, man, you've been battling. You've had a quiet fight.
Yeah.
But look where you are now, and you're being vulnerable, right? Like, you're spreading the awareness that men desperately need. If there's one thing that I'm really interested in, would be dudes need to be vulnerable, and that's why we started the quiet fight. How important is it to you for just having like at least one person to talk to trust and feel vulnerable with?
It's super important. You need to be able to break down barriers that you've set up, because most men they'll set up those barriers to be that tough man, hide themselves and contain themselves. You need that space, that person, that atmosphere to open up to. And to me, it started with my home group in AA. It's kind of the first time I've really opened up. And then my wife now, right? Like, that's having her, like, I'll tell her anything. Where I'm open book with her. We'll talk more, and I'm more open to having those personal conversations. Before, I would hate that. I hated digging into the dirt and the weeds and the shit. I was the guy that would, like, I still am. If we get in a fight or there's some shit to deal that I don't want to deal with, I can sleep on it, forget about it, move on. It's the past. It's still buried in there, and it's
Yep.
gonna fester, and it's gonna come up sometime. My wife's always like, I want to resolve it now. I want to talk it out. I want to hash it out. I can't sleep on this. And I'm slowly becoming that way too. It was first for her sake, but now I'm like realizing the benefits of it. Like, why not resolve it right away? Why not talk about it? Why not get over? Why do you want to just ignore it?
Yep.
Because it's gonna come up again, and it's gonna be worse. It's gonna come up in a more inopportune time. It's gonna, right? And
100%, man.
yeah. So having that, she's my person right now. So having that person is huge. So whether that's, I say that to everybody, whether that's a parent, a friend, a sibling, a cousin, a coworker, somebody in a program, or a therapist or psychologist, find somebody. It's huge.
Yep.
And once you find that, you realize there's more people to talk to, and it's okay to talk, and you're more vulnerable, right?
Yep.
Talk to more people. Like, I never would have pictured myself doing this 2 years ago.
But look where
or
we
a
are.
year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. Final question.
Yep.
What is something that you wish more people knew about mental health?
That's a good question. I think the fact that, if you comparing it and contrasting it with physical health, okay? Um, you break a leg, it's broken. You go and you treat it. People don't think anything of you, or whatever, right? You have anything, it's physical, what other people are like, okay.
You can see it,
You can
right?
see it. Mental health hides, right? It's you have to be willing to dig into it. And whether in a bad spot, a good spot in your life, I think taking checks and balances on your mental health is huge, right? Maintaining mental health is huge.
Yep.
And with the way I think of it too, with your brain, if you got bad mental health, you're gonna tweak your reality on for yourself. You're gonna say, I'm fine, this is an issue and this is weird, I shouldn't be like this, or whatever. You're gonna beat yourself up over it, you're gonna hide the truth, or you're gonna, not everybody, but I'm saying it's a probable thing.
Yeah.
And whereas physical health, you'll treat it right away. So you've really got to be, like I say, willing to dig into that, and I recommend you do that, whether it's with a trusted person, whether that's just being honest with yourself at the start, right? It takes that. And yeah, like I've been going through a lot of stuff, and like I started with this ADHD assessment that I got diagnosed with in May. I started counseling for the first time in my life. So that's huge. That week, my dad, we thought he had a stroke, got diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer, and it was a rocky road. We didn't know what was going to happen. We were told different things from doctors. He was going to go through treatment. Then they told him, "You're too weak," and that was the end of June here, and we lost him July 7th. And I'm glad I had a psychologist. I'm glad I was in a better place mentally to handle that, to be more vulnerable, talk to people about feelings, concerns, issues, taking care of myself. I took 2 months off work to deal with it. And that's another thing, people, you got to be willing to take care of yourself, right? Like, that's the whole reason you're here, is your life. Like, take care of it. You only get one. But what I was going to say with this was, that's my train of thought, ADHD. But yeah, the making amends. Because I was in the program, my dad and I had a shitty relationship. I was afraid to go through the 12 steps because I didn't want to make amends with my dad. I've been in the program for 3.5 years, a little more.
Yep.
I said to everybody, I'm like, this is the reason I don't want to do it. Like, I don't fear rejection, I fear it being brushed off, whatever. And one night he was in the hospital, uh, and always somebody would stay with him. So I think it's the third night in, I stayed with him. And he was up and restless from his steroids. And I said, it was like 2 in the morning. He said, Dad, you up? He said, yeah. I want to talk? So I said, sure. We sat and talked for 2 hours about apologies for the shit we've done, fighting we've done.
How did that feel?
Like an elephant was lifted off my chest.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I didn't feel that all the time, but when it happened, it was just a wave of just, emotions. And saying I love you for the first time, and probably since I was a young teenager.
Yeah.
Right? And we always said that the last few weeks of his life, every time we part, it was huge. So, like, one thing too is about your mental health is make those amends, heal those relationships. It's probably not always easy. Every relationship is different. Some maybe you have to cut ties, but with those ones like your families and stuff, try to mend them. You never know how much time you're gonna have. You never know. It's a fear that people have, and like when I did, I'm like, why did I wait so long?
Yeah.
Like, we could have had more time together.
Right? And if you didn't put in all the work that you put in for yourself to be vulnerable and have those conversations, they might not have happened, right?
It probably wouldn't have. I wouldn't have the confidence or be in the mindset to realize that this is a possibility, that it's a good thing to do. I would have probably had to make amends on the graveside, right? Which would have been hard on my mental health. So I'm very grateful for the things I've learned in this journey. And like I said earlier, it's not a destination. It is a journey, and it's not just one thing. It's, as you're digging through stuff, you find, whether it's addictions, whether it's depression, whether it's anxiety, whether it's relationship issues, you dig into it and you find so many different things that you can improve upon. Like, I still want to be a much better dad to my kids. Like, I don't think I'm a bad dad by any means. I'm heavily involved with them, all in their sports, do everything I can for them, play with them, do all raise them well, treat them well. But I'm very short tempered, where I get mad at them if they outburst with emotions, or don't listen, or don't, be obedient. And my wife's like, they're not dogs, like, and then I don't listen to her. She's like, well, you're doing the same, how can you be mad at them for doing the same thing to me or them doing to you what you do to me, not listening or not wanting to take orders. I'm like, yeah, I know. I got to learn to get over that, and I got to learn to let them feel their most. I think they're trying to, I don't want to set them down the wrong path and
Yep.
have, not childhood trauma, but having resentments to me for anything I've said, done, and I want them to be raised proper and have better future than and not have to deal with some of the shit that I've had to, right? Go down the same path of alcohol, drinking, or any kind of drugs or outlet that they might find as an escape. And then, we talk to that. We've got one of our, we've got kids in basically seen counselors and stuff like that too. And it's huge. Like I never would have realized that being young, like 10 years old, going to a counselor, 11 years old. Like, it's good for them.
It's like we're always just going to be working on ourselves, and it's a lifelong thing. Mental health is lifelong. Even when you're feeling the greatest, you still need to do those check-ins and being vulnerable and having that person to talk to.
Absolutely.
I just want to say it has been fantastic to meet you. I feel very grateful that we got to have this conversation, and I want to say I'm proud of you. And don't remain silent, man, because I know you're
Yep.
not, and that's why you're here today. So
Absolutely. I'm so grateful for the things you guys are starting to do. It's huge for men's health, mental health. It's been taboo for too long,
yeah,
right? It's been quiet for too long. So getting like-minded people together and reaching out to support men as a group is huge because there's tons of resources out there, but we need stuff like this.
yeah,
We need those people to reach out, to let people know it's okay to find those support groups, to find, that community to heal,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. That's very well said.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much
I
for the
appreciate your
time. I
time.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you so much.